And my question, what is truth in the internet era?
Well, Yossi, since I did not receive any email, I'm going to say what I want. And my only comment on that video is that if I'm talking about UN and Israel, I'm very glad that a couple of months ago, journalists from our biggest newspaper, Bild, have found in a German rooftop the original plans of the concentration camp Auschwitz. And instead of giving that to the German official archives, we decided to give it to the State of Israel, and we received a couple of weeks ago Benjamin Netanyahu at our publishing house in Berlin, and we gave him the plans, and we were very glad to see him a couple of days later presenting it towards the UN. That's the message that you should send to this institution. But apart from politics, Yossi, I think I'm invited here on this panel as a dinosaur from the old print media industry, and that reminds me a couple of 2 years ago. Meanwhile, we visited a couple of companies on the West Coast in America to find out whether newspapers have any future. And so we also visited Google. And on the Google campus, we discovered a sculpture of a dinosaur. And so we thought it's a nice idea to have a photo of the dinosaur industry in front of the dinosaur. And I saw a beautiful young woman walking along, and I asked her whether she could take a photo with my mobile phone, and she said, well, of course I do that. Where are you from? I said, we are from Germany. And she said, what business are you in? And I said, well, we are in the newspaper business. And she looked at me and said, newspaper business? Ah, I heard about it. That's this print thing. So that showed me that we are seen like dinosaurs, and we are talking about ourselves as dinosaurs. I think it's a big mistake. You can commit suicide out of the fear to die. And I have to admit, in our case, that we are complaining on a high level. We had to release a profit warning of a very special kind the day before yesterday. And we had to inform the capital markets that our third quarter profits went up 10% compared to previous year. And previous year was the historic record profits in the history of the company.
Good for you.
That is partly thanks to the fact that our print business, the newspaper business, is still doing well. We have a margin of more than 20% in this environment, but also that we have digitized our business very early. 20% of our entire sales and 16% of our profits are deriving from online activities. And of course, we were digitizing and transforming our business very early. And I think there is really no, and if you look, 7 of our 10 biggest online activities are already profitable, and the 2 highest margins of the company are also generated with online businesses. So it shows clearly, if you embrace the progress, if you don't see it as a threat, if you have the will to self-cannibalize your business, then the sum of it might be positive. So I really cannot join this general depressive mood of the media industry that everything is going down now. It really depends on. And I think it's a privilege to participate in this change. What are the 4 most important inventions of mankind? I would say it's the language, because language enabled people to communicate, to speak in front of you. No, briefly to conclude, I really think it's a great opportunity to participate in this digitization process. And of course, this is very much change driven. Everything is changing, and we have seen it. The Ray Kurzweil sentence is very impressive. What fits into a house today will fit into a blood cell in a couple of years of now. That shows the degree of radical change. And everything is changing, and everybody is preaching change. From Obama to every management trainer at the moment, it's all about change, because change is the key success factor, yes. But in this environment, I would dare to say we might also think about what is going to remain. How about continuity? A certain degree of continuity is also a success factor. And if we are talking about the media industry, I have just 3 things where I'm deeply convinced that they're going to stay, to remain, and that there will be continuity. I think that is quality content. In the end, it really matters whether there is somebody who knows how to tell a story. Professional storytelling, professional research will be a strength and will play a role, and there will be a desire. Second, and I know that this might be controversial, I think also in the World Wide Web, we will discover step by step leadership and strong brands. I do not believe that if every information is available everywhere at any time, that there is no desire for leadership. I strongly believe that not everybody wants to be in every situation its own program director. People want to be led. They want to have people that are making decisions, that are selecting what is important, what is not so important, and with that you can create brands. They might look different, and of course user-generated content will play a bigger role, and that's not a threat to us, it's an opportunity. We are using user-generated content not only in the web, also in the print media. Bild is publishing user-generated photos, 12,000 in the last 2 years, and it is an important part of the quality, meanwhile, of the newspaper, but nevertheless, there are people who have to make a choice, and so I believe in the principle of leadership. And the third is that I also think that since thousands of years, people are willing to pay what they really like and what they are really interested in. That is true if you go to a retail store, and that will also be true in the information space on the web. So we have to make sure, we media people and publishers and content providers, we have to make sure that we are offering fascinating, creative, professional content, and that we create strong brands with that, and that we provide easy-to-use pay models, and that we really convince people to pay for what they get. And if that is achievable, and I'm an optimist here, then I think we have a glorious future ahead of us.
Thank you very much. Before we move to the next part, I would like to ask the panel members if anybody has an uncontrollable urge to react on something which was said. Yes, please, Maurice.
I would like to insist on what Matthias has said so rightly. I think that, Tom Glosser said approximately the same. When you have a brand which is very strong, and you have a process which is very serious about controlling the content on what you are offering to the people, this brand has a value which will help you to go to the next step, and I'm pretty sure that this is part of what will remain. And the great brand will stay for a long period of time and way beyond only the news.
Thank you.
I just, I think I disagree with something Max said. I don't see a trend towards people getting paid for making a really good blog post, with the small exception of what we have today. If somebody makes a really popular blog, of course, they could have some ads. I don't see a trend towards micropayments for things like blog posts or good things like that. And I think that we're not going to see a trend very much in that direction. Of course, as we develop more and more ability to have micropayments, I'm sure we'll see a little bit of that. But I think that when we think about people being compensated for things that they're doing online, if we think about it in terms of money, we're really missing the point of what most of these people are really doing. They're involved in expressing themselves, they're involved in community, so they're talking to their friends, they're talking to their fans, and they may have 73 fans in the entire world, but they like having 73 fans. They don't want to make 73 cents from their 73 fans. They want to have a conversation with them. So I just don't see this idea that we're moving in towards a paid micropayments world. I'm not convinced.
Thank you. You are allowed if you can make the microphone work.
I can make the microphone work simply with the power of my voice, apparently. So I wasn't implying that everyone is about to get paid 73 cents. My point was, in fact, working well with Maurice's previous point, that there are opportunities for people to build real audiences and real brands. I think the traditional media companies will remain with their brands and are best advised to leverage those brands in transitioning into the new old digital world, but there'll be tremendous opportunities for consumers that create their own names and their own voices out of nothing into real paid systems for both brand name and ultimately revenue generation.
Do we have something like crowd wisdom? Do we have the wisdom of the masses? Is it real wisdom or it's just noise?
But I mean, it's both, of course. There's crowd intelligence and there is crowd stupidity. I mean, it's both. The web is not bad or good. I think it's a big mistake to see the web as something that you have to put into one basket. The web is everything. It's a virtual version of our life and a new dimension of communication. And you have thieves and heroes, and you have good things and bad things. You have wisdom and stupidity, everything.
Can you please put the Mary wisdom clip, please?
Hi. I hate my phone. What do I do? This is crazy.
Let's run a free upgrade check. See if you're due for a new smartphone.
Don't I need to go to my carrier store for that?
No, you don't have to. We sell phones and plans on all the major networks.
Okay, well, is time travel possible?
Yes, I am from the future.
Phones, plans, and advice from thousands of people eager to help.
So this was a clip of the blue shirts of Best Buy, which were turned by Best Buy to a group of people who answer questions on Twitter, etc. Best Buy moved part of their customer support into the wisdom of the crowd. In this case, the crowd are the tens of thousands of employees of Best Buy. Jimmy, is it a viable model?
I think it definitely is. I think there are many more than just this one. This is a very cute example, and of course they're taking very positive advantage of the current Twitter mania that's going on. But the idea of taking a lot of what was normally done inside the company and bringing it out into the public eye that's an ongoing trend that I don't think we're going to see an end to anytime soon.
If I could jump in there, I think the interesting economic question is it's undoubtedly a good business move by Best Buy to externalize the cost that they would otherwise have of an in-house, essentially expert network. The question that comes over to the debate you're having with Max is, would it be a good independent business? Would you actually pay the 73 cents for the wisdom of the crowd, or would you just expect to get that for free given the number of people who will express and who will guide you to, let's say, the answer to how to connect your new flat panel display?